Megan Hicks of I Run Far. I'm with Ida Nilsson. It's Western States Week for 2024, and you are back again. Hi, Ida. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
This is your second Western States. You had, time-wise, like an incredible debut there last year, finishing seventh place in under 18 hours. I think 17:43-ish. I think you said it was a difficult day for you, but those are great numbers for a debut Western States and a debut 100-mile race.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too warm last year, so it was really good conditions. I think you can't really look at the time, everyone had great times, and it doesn't say, I mean, I think you need to more, look at the race and your placing, and I feel like it was fine as my first 100-miler, but it could have gone better as well, but it could also have gone worse. So, I mean, I made it to the finish line and I was top 10, so I could come back here without another golden ticket race. So that was kind of a nice winter this time to not have to worry about that.
A qualification race. Yeah, so you, last year, I think you said you lost your stomach quite early in the race, and that was your limiting factor all day long?
Yeah, kind of. I felt like, it was hard with nutrition, and I mean, I was fine. I could keep running, but I didn't have much energy to really push. But it was, I mean, I didn't just have to sit down or I kept going, but it was a little bit slower than I would have liked.
It was your first 100-mile race also, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, but you had done CCC before and other races that take a lot of hours. So hours-wise, it wasn't a huge step up in time out, but it was a big step up in the miles in that time, right?
I mean, actually, I've just done CCC that took 13 hours, and then I've just mostly done 80 and a few faster 100K. So I think all other races have been under 10 hours. So I haven't been doing so many races that takes a long time.
You talked about a few of the difficulties at last year's race. What were some things that happened that were really good that you're hey, that was really cool?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really nice that we were close together from 3rd to 10th position around there, all the women. So and it was kind of changing a lot, so it was never really okay, I'm just in this place and I don't see anyone, and it's just kind of boring running. So that made it interesting, and I also felt I had good downhill legs, which I was happy with, which is important for this race. So that kind of saved me a little bit when I felt I didn't have so much energy in the uphill. So that was good. At least I felt I had my downhill legs quite far in the race. I mean, it's always hard towards the end. I don't think my last downhills were very good, but at least quite far into the race.
Western States is a race that people love to repeat. Some people come back 2, 4, 10 times, right? Whenever a person comes back, the question that I want to ask is, what brings you back? What makes you want to do it again?
I think that's the hard with all races, because most races you want to do again, but you also want to do new races. So I think that's every year, this balance, because it's something in you that you want to perfect a certain race, and I can feel with a lot of courses just I think that part I could have done way better, or that preparation, and that's I think why we're coming back to certain races, because it's really nice to try to do it better. So I think that's my main thing. I like the race, and then I felt I could have done it a little bit better, and then I felt I want to come back again. And then also when I was top 10, it's easy to come back.
This is maybe more of an existential question, but do you think perfection is possible in 100-mile racing? Do you think we get one perfect 100-mile race in our lives, or ultra running is already inherently difficult, and then you
I don't think you could.
Miles.
No, I mean, you can probably get close, but all my races I've done in life, I think it's you probably would quit then if you get because then I have nothing to try to achieve if you get it perfect.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, it's always something that could be a tiny bit better.
If you were to like shut your eyes right this moment and say, like, envision your perfect day out, and like knowing that there's going to be problems, it's 100 miles, what does like a really good day look like for you on this course?
Yeah, like I feel it's a course where you both need to be really fit, but also have this endurance. It's like a mix. I think some other 100-mile races is more like you need to be more just tough and endure, but this one you need to actually be running quite fast a lot of times as well and have that fitness, and then handle heat, of course, and nutrition to just like be moving well and quick the whole time. So I think like this year I feel like I mean, I get a little bit older each year, of course. Like I will never reach my like top physical shape and like at any point in life any longer, because I passed that point. So even though I try sometimes, I'm like, no, it's not gonna. I mean, it's yeah. So I think like this year I feel like more I would really want to nail the things I can nail, like with the crew, and like be moving well and not doing mistakes on all those extra things that is like from outside. Yeah. Because I think when I was like earlier and I was younger, like I can rely too much on just like fitness, on like that I know I'm good when I'm racing. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I can always be better when I race than in training, and I rely on my fitness, and then I get a little bit like too competitive and I can make mistakes, and I also think it's kind of boring to think about details. Like I put a lot of energy in the like 98% of my, which is like the preparation year round, like with training, but then the small details, sometimes I'm like, oh, it doesn't interest me enough. Yeah. So I think now I need to start to be a little bit more to nail everything around better to have a good race, because my fitness is declining and I can't really compete just with that anymore. So I will try to do that for once. Yeah.
You're a masters runner. In 2021, Ragna DeBots set the women's masters record at 17 hours and 41 minutes. You were just a wee bit off of that last year. Is that something that you're thinking about too, is the women's masters record? I mean, stars have to align, you know, the weather has to allow for fast times, but is that something that you think about on a decent weather day?
I didn't know about it at all last year or thought about it. I don't think I will. I mean, the race, and I've just tried to compete as well as possible, and then that's probably a bonus if it goes well, but I don't think about that too much. No.
Race day, like part of the fun of it is your crew and your pacers. Who is the team supporting you on race day this year?
MK and her husband Tommy, they are going in both crew and pace me, so that's really good. They were there for me last year as well, so it's going to be good.
Like low key, repeat what worked.
Yeah, like and do some things better. Like now I kind of, I mean, it was the first time for all of us. Like I never had a crew and I never had a pacer before in a race. Like you get so much support in this race. I'm not used to. You used to like take care of yourself, and I think I was like quite bad with like this giving directions to people. I was like, oh, what do you actually need? Or so I think we have a better strategy this year how we're going to do it.
That's a really good point. I mean, you have come over from, you know, almost strictly European racing where pacers and crews are not a thing. All the runners typically rely on aid stations. Yeah, like just absorbing that like inherent piece of Western states where it's like so crew heavy, so pacer heavy, it's so part of the experience. Are you really just going to embrace it this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of small stuff you can actually, that can help you, especially if it gets really warm, I think. So I think it's important then because you can have so many aid stations. Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's just an hour between everything pretty much, maybe an hour and a half, the longest one. So you can actually, if you like, think it through to do it well, and I think that's like important now, especially if it gets a really hot year.
Yeah. You've been in America for a little over a month, or about a month. You came for Western States training camp here in the Sierra Nevada and then spent some time training in Flagstaff. Is that how it went this year?
Yeah, I started with the training runs again. I thought it was really nice last year, just a social thing, and also to see the course a little bit, because it's difficult when I come by myself and logistic with car or anything. So it's perfect time to see part of the course and just like meet up with people. So I did that, and then had a little road trip with Esther and went to Grand Canyon a few days, and then I went to Flagstaff and been there for 3 weeks.
Cool. So now you're part of the great migration of people training in Flagstaff, Arizona for Western States, where you've moved back up to the Sierra Nevada for race week.
Yeah, I mean, I did last year as well. I mean, I have also trained in Flagstaff for other races because I enjoy this place. I think there are probably more places that are good to train for Western States, but it works well now. So.
You were an NAU runner, and you'll always be a little bit of a Northern Arizona runner, won't you?
Yeah, I will always cheer for people from Flagstaff. So.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to you this weekend on your second Western States experience. Good luck, Ida.
Thanks.